She was a model that made it big in Hollywood during the Second World War, becoming a star overnight based on her relationship with Howard Hughes and then becoming a sex symbol. A career spanning over 40 years and retiring early in the height of her fame. Yet her later life was able to be a good one, as she was able to help out many charities and being one of the first actresses to adopt children in her time. She was the beautiful Jane Russell, and this is her basic biography. Early life. Jane Russell was born on the 21st of June 1921 in Minnesota, USA. She lived with her parents and siblings in the state during her early years, and even having her parents working to support her and even the rest of her siblings during the early 1920s to the 1930s. She would attend school in the state of Minnesota, and even her father was enlisted in the United States Army and would finish his tenure to become an administrator, whilst her mother worked in stage productions and sometimes acted. Both her parents would move to California, with her mother starting work in various productions within Hollywood. Later on, she would attend school or high school in California and take up activities such as acting and even while studying. She was endorsed by her mother to become an actress, and even taking up singing lessons and even dancing lessons, plus music lessons to become an actress at a young age. However, Jane Russell still was able to study, but managed to become a model, and plus taking up some extracurricular activities at a young age. She was able to become a full-on model and then an actress after graduating. This was due to taking up small jobs after her father passed away. Acting career. The late 1930s would see the world going to war, as this would be the start of the Second World War. In the meantime, Jane Russell was trying to make ends meet by taking up odd jobs and even being a model with her natural beauty. Due to the urgency of her mother trying to get support for the family, Jane Russell used her talents and wanted to become an actress after her modeling career. She would be in her late teens before becoming a Hollywood actress. This was due to an opportunity that happened when she was cited by the billionaire Howard Hughes. She would take up acting and even become an icon overnight with Ted Hughes' first film as a director and creator. The film The Outlaw in 1943 made the unknown Jane Russell a star in Hollywood, as she was able to perform in the film and would become a breakout star during the 1940s. This was a Western film based on the notable villain, or the cowboy, Billy the Kid, and having Jane Russell being the first model to become an actress, even with her skills of acting, before being a star. She was even given some credit due to her beauty and performances in the film. She would also be able to go around the world and even show the film around the world, with the United States Army having been benefiting from the film during its early release. More production companies or production studios were able to cash in on the new supporting actress, and even sometimes would have her playing as a lead actress in some films, due to the success of The Outlaw in 1943. Now, she started to be signed by RKO Pictures and would find different genres in the 1940s that people were interested in. Other movies, such as The Paleface in 1948, would see her starring as a new actress taking up comedic roles. Yet, this 1940s would be her breakout decade. She would spend the rest of the decade perfecting her acting career and having a chance to work with new actors and actresses who would become icons like herself. Model to Hollywood actress. The 1950s would have the young Jane Russell becoming an icon, and most sorted out this actress to become their supporting actress to leading actress. That would be up against other actresses who the audiences thought was the best. Having her starring up against and even starring with Marilyn Monroe, who was considered for all model actresses to be hired in Hollywood during the 1950s to the 1960s as being the best. But Jane Russell, she would live way more time than Marilyn Monroe, as she would be able to be contracted throughout the decades as the leading actress. She was starring with other actresses and actors that were elites by moving away from Howard Hughes and his production studios in the 1940s and making herself turn into a femme fatale in various movies such as Macau in 1952, and would see the beautiful Jane Russell perform with as a love interest to the Hollywood hardman detective played by Robert Mitchum. She had time to work in comedies in The Son of Paleface in the same year, as this would be the sequel to her first film, Paleface movie, in 1948. Later on in her career, she was able to star with her budding actress, budding star, Marilyn Monroe, and would travel around the world to star in films with her, and even becoming part of the Hollywood elites headlining. Based on her stardom, she would split time with movies and even television. She would sometimes be known around the world in various TV productions and being part of advertisements and even advertising products for big companies in the 1950s and even in the 1960s. She would even have time to promote her movies and even be able to be on talk shows that would have the world turn to see. Personal life and final years. Jane Russell was married at least 3 times. Bob Waterfield was her first husband and would see them both married from 1943 to 1968. Second husband was Robert Barrett, and they were married from 1968 to his death in 1970, and to his death in the same year. Then she married John Peoples from 1974 to his death in 1999. She was not able to have children of her own, but with her husband's. But what happened was she was able to be the first actress to adopt children, and she would also be adopting these 3 children, be adopting at least 3 children throughout her life. She would spend time singing and dancing based on film success, and even spend some times playing as a strong female lead or a supporting female actress on her movies that she was contracted for. Then she would be able to continue being an activist and even working with people outside Hollywood. She would even have her acting credits slowly dying out, with more actors and actresses taking over the roles that she could have had. And this meant she would have to think about retirement and even making enough money for her retirement. Her final film role was in 1980 called The Jackass Trail, and her final appearance was in 2010, just before her death. Legacy and death. The beautiful actress and legend Jane Russell would sadly pass away in Santa Maria, California on the 28th of February 2011 at the age of 89. She was one of the best actresses that could come from a good background, and even having a career that was launched before becoming a full-time actress in Hollywood. Her legacy would be able to be continued even till today. She was able to be a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. She would even work with actresses and actors that would become bigger than her, and even her career. She was remembered for being one of the first actresses to adopt children and change actors and actresses' lives by working with them and even inspiring them, even modern actors and actresses of today. She would even endorse various charities based on adoption and supporting people who needed it. Her children have helped her legacy and keeping it alive, spending time with her by working with people around the world. And most actors and actresses today who were able to speak to her before her death and even had time based on acting as well as inspiring them to become actors and actresses themselves. Even Hollywood legend Leo DiCaprio was able to speak to her with her relationship with Howard Hughes for the movie, the 2005 movie or the 2004 movie Avatar, which had him starring as the legendary Howard Hughes and having Jane Russell helping out how to play the great billionaire. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe if you haven't done so. I'm Suki Cookie, and please have a chance to check out my other videos and stay tuned for more content like this. Thank you.